Good morning. Time for another Tiny Yoga Talk, and this is the third time I've tried to shoot this video. First two times I've had it on mute, and that doesn't work with no sound. So, I want to keep talking about the relationship between practice and non-attachment. We're really good at practicing and trying to reach goals. We're not so good at non-attachment. So specifically I want to talk about the form of non-attachment that is oftentimes thought of as surrender. So modern commentators on the Yoga Sutras oftentimes talk about surrendering to God. That God word is problematic because we've oftentimes not used it as surrender, but it is a tool to drive a wedge between people so that we can get what we want. So I say that using the word God to describe what God is like using a sledgehammer to drive a wet noodle through a watermelon. It's a blunt instrument and things are going to get messy, but it may be the only instrument you have sometime. So let's think about surrender in another way. If you drive around the South, traditionally, places where you'd find lots of cornfields are in the bottomlands along streams and rivers. It's a flat area near right in front of my house that used to be cornfields because there's a stream there. So why do people plant their corn there? Because before we had lots of chemical fertilizers, the streams and the rivers would flood every so often and bring sediments and nutrients to those soils and keep them from being depleted so you'd grow good crops. So we can also let go and allow some of that flooding to occur, stop building so many dikes along our internal rivers. So why don't we? Because it's scary when things flood. Everything that you've built and planned for can get washed away. So yoga has a tricky way of rearranging your life and messing up all the things you thought you were going to do and be and sending you in a different direction. But it's good if you can let that flooding happen. So the Yoga Sutras, the word they use for this kind of surrender is pranidhana. It means to place before within. So whatever it is that you think you might benefit from letting go, you put it before that part of you that's wise enough to let it go. Probably that part of you is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which we talked about in an earlier talk. It's that part of you, the wisdom that unfolds as you realize your place in something larger and as you bring in and accept more community rather than driving wedges to separate. So give a little thought maybe today and this week about what kind of things you're holding on to that may seem even great and beneficial right now, but could stand in the way of unseen future growth, and how you can loosen your grip on some of those things. And maybe there will be a flood in your life, and it might seem horrible, but then again, you might grow a good crop afterwards. Have a great day.